Hey everyone, it's Jeff with Conde Systems, and I want to welcome you to our presentation today, the post-pandemic business climate of the photography industry. We got a special guest, Aaron Pate of Calagaz Photography. He's going to talk to us about how the photography and transfer industry has changed, how they pivoted. Lots of good information coming up. We're lucky to have him, happy to have him. First off, let's talk about some housekeeping here where we got our coupon, May Save, $25 off $200 orders, valid through the month, free artwork on $75 orders. We got some great deals on Oki printers. We got some cool webinars coming up. Cheryl Kuchek from Just My Imagination Designs. We've got another live with me. I'm going to bring in the crew from NBM, Graphics Pro Expo, on Friday. But for now, let's get started on this thing. And so we all know that we just went through a heck of a year. So 2020, a lot of us business owners kind of found ourselves staring at the floor, staring at the wall, looking at the ceiling, and figuring out what are we going to do. And a lot of businesses pivoted, they changed, they made adjustments, they came out. They're doing great now. A lot of businesses closed up. Some of them wanted to close up. That was a great excuse to say, hey, you know, I'm tired of this business anyway. And so there was that camp, which opens the door up for more smaller businesses that decided to come in and fill those slots. And so one of the things that I want to talk about in a particular industry, which is very important to us, with it being May, we are right smack in the middle of wedding season. So you can only imagine how many weddings, excuse me, were postponed for 2020. There were no venues to have the events in. There was no events going on. We couldn't get together. Well, here we are rolling into 2021, into the 2021 wedding season. And so all those weddings from 2020 have stacked up. And then you got the new ones. People proposed during the pandemic, the lockdown, whatever. And so right now, the photography industry and the photography transfer industry is booming. June is historically the biggest month for weddings, with November following. So your June weddings, the thing is that there's so many, that's going to extend from June, July, August, September. They're just going to keep on rolling for the rest of the year. So what the good news for you is that it gives you an opportunity to sell into that industry because you got time. It's not like you just have to sell in June. And one of the best ways that I think that you can get in there, and it not only allows you to get into the wedding industry as a supplier of photograph products, but it allows you to network within the industry, and that is with Chromalex aluminum panels, and specifically 3 different sizes. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can leverage these 3 products and a wedding ceremony and a reception, and how you can profit. So the 3 that I've got here, all right, kind of how a wedding flows is you have the ceremony. All right, the ceremony is in a church, cathedral, an event venue, and so guests enter the facility for the ceremony. And so what do you need to have as they enter into the ceremony? You need to have one of these. You got a 16 by 20. Actually, this is bigger. I would suggest a 16 by 20 because it's economical. They can be printed by us in-house. Calagaz certainly can do it. You can reach out to them. They can handle the fulfillment for you if you don't have the equipment to print this size. But as guests enter the church, cathedral, whatever, they see the engagement photo. So you've got an engagement photo, and then you can even do like a chalkboard type situation. This is the textured Chromalex metal, and you wrote on it Mr. and Mrs. Lopez, the date. This is the first thing the guests see when they walk into that ceremony. So you got that covered. You got a 16 by 20 piece, and people are going to come and they're going to go, wow, that's really cool. Who did that? You know, and they're going to look on the back, and it's more of a formal setting, so it's not going to be like a dig. They're going to just kind of, wow, that's really cool. You got, you know, potential brides, future brides, are going to wonder, where'd that come from? And so a little sticker or a little sublimation transfer on the back with your contact info, real, casually placed back there, gives them an opportunity to see that because they're going to look it over. Number two, you've got a guest book situation. So there's going to be a guest book in that same area, and that's where you're going to put your 11 by 14 piece of Chromolux metal on a little easel, kind of like this. And here's the guest book. Again, they're seeing another photo, and they might even tip it back and go, wow, I see this one, I see that one. Who's doing this, etc. So you get through the ceremony, all right? The bride and groom get married, and then what happens next? Then there's the reception. So this panel then makes its way to the reception hall, where it is again placed in the entryway, where the bride and groom come in, they receive their guests. As the guests come in, it's all part of the flow of the ceremony. There's that piece of metal again, and now we're in a little more casual environment because we're not in the stuffy church formal environment. We're in we've come to party, we come to eat, drink, greet the bride, congratulate them. And so now people are really going to be looking back there going, who did that? I want one of these at my wedding. The guest book will probably be moved into the reception hall as well. Here comes your 11 by 14 that you had. Now you're going to have an 8 by 10 on the cake table. So the cake table, it would just be on a little easel right there. Here's the cake. Here's where the bride and groom, this is where all eyes come on the bride and groom as they make their toast and they cut a piece of cake, and she might shove it in his face. Regardless, everybody's got their phone out and they're taking pictures. There's your panel, there's the pictures, there's the toast, there's the cake, and essentially that's the end of the ceremony. You're going to have a first dance kind of thing, and it may come before the cake. Depends on how they prepare the flow of the wedding. But these three pieces put you front and center in that ceremony, in that reception. And if you've branded your product very tastefully, you're going to get attention. People are going to want to know who did that for you. I want them to do it for me. You can print and press this on a smaller printer, desktop printer. Print and press this on a desktop printer. This needs to be done either by our print services department if you don't have big equipment, or like a company like Calagaz. They can certainly take care of this for you, ship it to you. You can mark it up, sell it to the bride and groom. Now, the one last piece of this, which is kind of, and you're talking a $350 package here, and I believe the 16 by 20 can be printed somewhere between $60 and $80. That's a lot of room to move around. With this panel and this panel, about $350 is what I would charge, and the key is I want to hand deliver that to the ceremony. All right, on the day of the wedding, I'm going to throw on a clean shirt. I'm going to have a stack of business cards in my pocket. I'm going to go set this easel up in the church. I'm going to put the panel on it. I'm going to put the panel on the guest book table. And then I'm going to go look around and I'm going to see who's there. There's the florist. Hey, check it out. This is what we do. Let me give you a card real quick. I'm going to get out of your way. Spread the word. And a lot of times they're going to come to you and go, hey, what is that? That's pretty cool. I do cakes, wedding cakes, whatever. Give me a stack of your cards. I'll put them in my shop. Now you're networking. You've taken an hour out of your life to go deliver these signs on a Saturday to a wedding, and you're networking with other wedding professionals, with the event venue, with the caterer, because you need to know, where's the cake table at? I need to put this on the cake table. By the way, here's a couple of my cards. This is what we do. Now you're seen. Your face is being seen. You're a part of the wedding industry now, and all it took was for you to sell something that you made money on, and then you got a free opportunity to go network with other wedding professionals. It's a very easy way to crash into the wedding market. So we do have a sale. If you go to our website, dietrans.com, photo panel sale. I'm going to put a link in the comments afterwards. Running a sale on all these panels. go ahead and give it a try. I mean, wedding season, you got plenty of time. You can run this thing all the way through November. Get out there and rub elbows and make friends with these people, because this is your industry. There's a lot of money in this industry. And speaking of how busy that industry is, that we've got Aaron Pate here. These guys are slammed right now. Their business is booming. They did a lot of things during 2020, during the lockdown, during all these challenges. They decided, hey, we're going to pivot, we're going to make adjustments, we're going to bring in new things, we're going to do some new stuff. And this is a rock solid family local business. They've been around forever. Everybody knows them. And they do a fantastic job, even in presentation in their showroom. It's a candy store. I mean, it's the package. And so with that, I want to bring in Aaron. Thanks for being with us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate you giving us this opportunity, Jeff.
Awesome. We appreciate you being here. So let's dive right into it. Give us a brief history of Calagaz Photography.
So, if you don't know, Calagaz Photo is a full-service camera store and photo lab. So, there's not very many of us left these days. You know, in the southeast region, we are just about the only company that still focuses strictly on photography. So, we sell cameras and lenses and photo gear. We also have our photo lab where we still process film. We're doing archiving and restoration work, obviously photographic printing, and then we partner with Conde for pretty much 100% of our sublimation needs and substrates and printing, and being able to put a photograph on basically everything is what we tell our customers. We say, if you can think of it, we can put a photograph on it. We've made people the dog bowls and dog collars and neckties, and of course the metal print is probably our most popular sublimated product. But we've been in business since 1955 here in Mobile and the surrounding area, and it's been a long time. It started as just a film developing location in Frank Calagaz Senior's garage, and that turned into a retail store, which at one point in 1 hour film processing days was up to 9 locations. And now we have one large store here in Mobile with a giant showroom that showcase just about everything. And we also have a store over in Pensacola, Florida, about an hour away from here, that is a full service shop as well.
Awesome, good stuff, man. Like I said, you are known in the city. That name is, you say the word Calagaz and everybody knows. I mean, you got a great location. You're right by the mall. You're on Airport Boulevard, or right tucked in back there. So, awesome, good stuff. So, how did you guys fare through 2020? And tell us, kind of take us on the journey of 2020, say March 2020, and then just kind of the environment around there, and then what kind of changes did you make throughout the year to keep it going?
So first I want to say, if you're a small business owner, and you're watching this right now, and you are still a small business owner because you haven't had to close up shop, great job.
Absolutely.
It has been a crazy year, still going on, but I think everybody's kind of feeling it now that things are coming back, and it's coming back strong and coming back fast. But for me personally, middle of March last year, I was headed to Oklahoma, which is where I'm from originally. My brother was getting married on March 14th. March 15th, as you might remember,
Wow.
when everything started shutting down. So I was in Oklahoma with my wife and our 5 kids, and there was a little bit of a worry there of if we were even going to be allowed to travel back or not.
Right.
We made it back. We were open in the store for about another week, and I hadn't quite got to the spot where Governor Ivey had decided that the state needed to shut down. But you could tell, just with all the confusion and the unknown and all the information in the world that was out there right now, day after day, our in-store traffic and our business was just creeping down. I mean, it was cutting in half almost every single day. And so we got to
we're going to go ahead and close for right now and see what happens. And so we transitioned from being a full service, mainly walk-in oriented business to being strictly online for about 6 weeks. And while we have a website and we've done some e-commerce sales and have a presence there, that's never been our core focus. And so it was a big shock. But luckily, through the camera side of things, we also have a large pre-owned camera business that through eBay and some other channels, we were able to, continue our sales through those channels and do really well. But what the closure gave us was time to kind of sit down and focus and really look at what our core focuses were and what we wanted to be moving forward. There was a time for that period where we were closed in April. Every day up here at the store, the only two people that were here were myself and Mr. Calagaz. And so he's working with our Pensacola team, who was allowed to work in the store privately. And then I was here basically doing everything. I was printing orders on the photo printer. I was hustling on social media, trying to make sales, move some gear, get some orders for some things. And then every day when I would leave, we shifted immediately to offering free shipping on any size order. And we've continued that throughout. It's been ongoing for a year now for us. And it might have cost us a little bit of money. It really has generated a lot more orders. But during that time when we were closed, a lot of our orders were coming in locally. So I would print throughout the day and I would shut down here about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would just map out on GPS and I'd make a run around the city, dropping off orders. A lot of people were super appreciative of that because there might be a photo order or something that they made at 3 o'clock that afternoon. And here it is at 5 o'clock and they're getting a text or an email from me saying, hey, your order's on your front porch, ready for you to go out there and get it. And so that made us some big changes. But we sat down and we looked and we're like, okay, we've got to focus on e-commerce and working on getting our systems in place to be more ready to receive e-com orders, have it more integrated with our in-store systems. And that set us into a launching point that is still ongoing today. I've been working on project after project of first we changed over our entire point of sale system, which was going from a system that we've been on for 15 years to something that was brand new for everybody. And so that was an undertaking. We worked a lot on the back end of our website to have that fully integrated with this new point of sale system. And then now we're also working on a second website to be dedicated for our used camera business as well. But just the work that we've put in so far has shown a huge difference in what we've been able to do. It's hard to compare any 2020 numbers, but in 2019, compared to the first 5 months of this year, our e-com business is up 40% so far compared to what we did in 2019, while our in-store sales are also up as well. So it's been some good changes. It's been very successful for us.
Absolutely. I love it. Love it. Love it. The hand delivery. I mean, it's like getting back to the old days, you make them the shirt and you deliver it to the house. It's just that, that whole one-to-one business type thing, getting your face back out there. I love it. Love it. That's fantastic. Are you seeing a change in the way, I know a lot of consumers have had they spend a year scrolling through their phone and looking at stuff, and have you seen a shift or a change in the way that people are buying or ordering? Or obviously the e-commerce side is booming for you. Is that, you're staying on that path, obviously, so that buying behavior is obviously that the new consumerism is buying online even stronger than before. Is that?
Right. Well, it's one thing that we've seen a big shift in, and this is in the photo gifting side and in our camera store side as well, is this started changing really even before the pandemic came in place. But we were for a long time a very seasonal business. Our business ebbed and flowed in the gift giving seasons. So Christmas was an extremely busy time for us. Mother's Day, graduation, Father's Day were an extremely busy time for us. And then, 6 or 7 months in between, it was kind of up and down of, there might be some days that we just sat around and looked at each other and just hoped that Christmas is going to be great again. And over the last couple of years, and especially now, it's really accelerated that we have kind of shifted our marketing strategy as well as our business focus out of being strictly in that kind of gift giving mode. And part of the reason for that is when you're talking about being just a gift centric business, there's a lot of times where your focus might end up being on some lower ticket items or having a lower average sale. And it's not to say that people are cheap, but when you're looking to give a gift to somebody, there's definitely a money consideration that comes into play there that might not be the same budget that you put on something that you're doing for yourself or purchasing for yourself. And so we've kind of shifted a focus to higher ticket items, both in the photo gifting world and in the camera world as well. And that has given us a big success in increased average sales, but also increased overall sales.
Awesome. Makes perfect sense. What do you see is right now the hottest product out there in your, especially on the e-commerce side, because you have such a broader reach? What's hot right now in the photo gifting world?
I mean, you presented it right there at the front. Yeah, I know the Chromolux metal panels have been around for quite a while at this point, but it might just be because we're such a photography-centric store. And so we're dealing with photographs, and I know there's a lot of people that use your products for, creating decor type items or showcasing their artwork and designs and that type of thing, really focusing on personalization. But for us, focusing on people's images and making them look the best, the Chromolux product is really about the best thing out there, just because of the high definition that's in it. And, we stick with mostly the gloss panel, just because the way that the colors pop and how really just amazing somebody's image looks on it. And when there's a lot of people that, in the days of film, everybody had to print all of their images. Well, now there's a lot of photographers that are coming up that they might not have ever seen one of their images printed on anything. It might have only ever lived digitally on a computer screen or on a phone screen or wherever. And so now seeing their printed work and that high definition on the Chromolux panel, it just blows people away. And again, our focus, we do some 8x10s and some 5x7s in the Chromolux, but most of our orders are in the 16x20 size and higher. And that's just, again, a shift to trying to focus on some of that higher ticket stuff.
Right. Good stuff. Do you see that as the future of the photography business? Is it just going to keep moving? We have the new textured Chromolux. We got the outdoor stuff. Is that kind of what you see as the future? That it's just going to keep going and going, and we're going to is that in regards to actual deliverable, tangible products?
I think so. There'll definitely be some challenges there. We've seen it in the canvas printing world as well. As people see an opportunity, there's companies that start up and they begin the race to the bottom of trying to really turn something into a commodity and see, well, I can make canvases and I'm the cheapest person to do it. That's never what our focus is. We don't ever want to be the cheapest to do something. And we actually have ordered from some of those type of places before to be able to show our customers right here in the store when they're like, well, I can get a 16x20 canvas off of this website. They have a promo code where they'll give it to me for $5 plus shipping. They might charge you $30 for shipping, but then at the same time too, when you receive it, it's not a product that's going to last. It might be something that can last for a few months, but it's not going to last long term. Whereas we try to make sure that everything that we create, it's a piece that you're going to have for a long time. And so in the canvas world, we differentiate ourselves by using archival grade canvas with archival inks and actually stretching it on a real wood frame like an artist canvas would. And then it's the same thing in our photo gifting side as well, is we want to make sure that with the Chromolux panels, especially with the new outdoor panels too, depending on what the usage is, and we want to make sure that a customer has something that is going to last them for a very long time, or that our photographer customers have something to be able to sell to their clients that they can stand behind and really be a strong believer in the product that they have, and knowing that they're not just giving something, just giving stuff to give stuff, that they're actually providing something that's long-term and meaningful.
Right. Good info. Good stuff. I love the race to the bottom, man. I see those ads in the books, and it's just like, man, they're giving it away, and then when you actually see them, it's such a disappointment. These canvases are just like, oh man, the color's wacky. It's not something, it's not going to last. As soon as you see it, already know that it's the bottom of the barrel. But I'm glad you touched on that, because that's exactly what I was trying to articulate in the question, but you nailed it. So, man, this is some incredible information. Do you have any advice for maybe our folks that are just starting out? Maybe you just got a printer, or you're a photographer and you're kind of dabbling into it. You got a little small desktop printer maybe. Any advice for those guys in this kind of climate on what their next step should be, kind of thing?
I think really probably my biggest piece of advice would be is being more in charge of the business is something that eats away at me a little bit, in that we don't try to specialize in any one specific thing. We're very diversified. Everything that we do is photography related, but we have our hand in a little bit of everything, from being able to have the full service photo lab to the archiving and the camera store and the used equipment. We even have a repair department as well. And there are times where being so spread out can be frustrating, but at the same time, since we don't focus on any one specific niche or any one specific type of event or customer, I think that's part of why we were able to weather a storm like the COVID pandemic so well, is because we had so many different things going on that, as everything decreased a little bit, but we weren't reliant on any one thing. And so, like, if you were focused on serving only the wedding industry and providing, supplies or anything for that, obviously last year would have been killer for you, because there weren't any weddings, and any weddings that people did have, there weren't any guests there to attend, so there wasn't a need to make any promotional items or anything like that. So probably my biggest thing is, it's great to be amazing at something, and if you can get really, really successful at one thing, that can be a great business model. But you also run into a situation where you never know what might happen in that specific industry or what might happen in that specific channel. So, kind of give yourself exposure to a lot of different things.
Rock solid advice. Aaron, thank you so much, man. You guys are great. This is great info. We appreciate you being here, and man, kudos to you and the team for getting through this thing. Everybody, it's calagaz.com, CALAGAZ.com. I'll put a link in the comments so you can check out what they do. They do offer fulfillment. You can take a look. Tell us real quick just about I know you have a new project with the camera equipment that you're getting ready to launch, or you've launched now, or give us a little.
So we are in the camera side. Another way that we've been able to stay in business since 1955 is just always exploring different opportunities, and like I was saying, just the diversification. So we have a second website that's launching soon. It doesn't have anything to do with the photo gifting or the photo printing, but it's a completely new brand that we are going national with, and it'll be preownedphoto.com. And that's going to be somewhere that we showcase all of the used camera and lens merchandise that we get. We actually have a team that, before COVID, and it's really starting to pick back up again, but we have a team that would travel around the country to different camera stores and different photo labs and host trade-in events where we would receive product and then come back here and move through that equipment and sell it to our customers, sell it all over the world on eBay. And now we're going to be selling that on our own dedicated platform on that website, in addition to expanding our offerings on calagaz.com. And that's my current focus right now, is kind of working on cleaning that website up a little bit for a little bit more streamlined ordering of the photo gifts, that stuff and things like that.
Sticking and moving, man. I love it. All right, cool. Well, look, thank you again for your time. I know you're busy. Everybody, Aaron Pate, Calagaz Photo. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Jeff. I appreciate it.
You got it, man. So that about wraps it up. Remember, we've got the Chromelex photo panels. We're going to do last column pricing. It's a flash sale type situation, so no need to enter any codes or anything like that. 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 16 by 20, clear, gloss, matte, satin finishes. Order a few of these things, man. Try them out. Or reach out to our print services department. Reach out to a company like Calagaz and say, hey, you know, I want to try one of these out and see, you know, just get off into the business of 16 by 20 stuff. Again, we've got our coupon for May, CPN-May Save, $25 off on $200 orders. Free artwork for orders over $75. Got Cheryl's webinar coming up. That is Wednesday, 5/26. Cheryl Kuchek. And then Friday with me, I'm going to have the Graphics Pro Expo, formerly known as NBM, folks. I'm going to have Cassie on. She's the executive publisher over there, and they're going to tell us what we need to do if we want to attend trade shows next year. There are trade shows coming again, where they're going to go back to a short schedule next year. She'll tell us all about what happened in Irving. Good stuff. If you haven't been to a trade show, you got to go to a trade show. So that about wraps it up, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Aaron Pate from Calagaz. And thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you.